We all have a story to tell. A gem of wisdom, a little tale, or just something to make you laugh. Do you want to hear some? Then welcome to Anecdotes. Today on Anecdotes, we travel to Baton Rouge to interview actress Ashton Leigh. I'm so glad that you're here to talk with us, and I wanted to know about auditions, because that's a big important part in an actor's life. And how do you prepare for auditions?
I prepare for auditions really first by getting the script, reading it over first time, just reading it like any other book, just reading it to get the material down. And then what I do is I start to break it down, and I find the scene objective, what my main objective is, where the beats and actions are, my moment befores, just some real work, on the script. And then I try to develop a character from the information that's given. I never try to memorize it all, or like I was saying before, like I just don't like having a cadence, saying something over and over and over. You don't realize it, but you actually start saying it, in the way that you've rehearsed it, and it doesn't sound natural that way once you get into the auditioning room. And auditioning is a completely different game than actually performing. It's a craft all on its own, and you really have to learn how to audition, properly. But once you do all the character work, I think the most important part is once you've entered the auditioning room to completely let it go. Take whatever, the universe has given you that day, whether it's a car accident right before, or, you found out somebody has just gotten engaged. Use whatever the universe has given you to apply it to, your character. I think that's the most organic way to go about it. I think being organic is the most important, part of it, and it's about being natural. It's about making interesting choices. It's about setting yourself apart, doing something that stands out, not being one like everyone else, just reading the lines. It's about putting a little bit of your own personality into it, and really letting it go. As the second you walk in, you just let it go, because what sells you is your personality and your confidence, and the camera sees it like that.
Well, when you're in an audition, do you get nervous, or is there a way that you sort of calm yourself and prepare yourself for for the audition?
Okay, for everybody out there that is just starting to audition, or even if it's been a year or so, like, this is something that really takes a lot of time to get comfortable with. For me, I've been doing this for about 4.5 years now, since I graduated college. And I'd say the first 2 years, I got the worst nervous feeling before going into an audition. I'm talking like stinking the place up. You know what I mean? Like, I would literally crap like 5 times per audition. Like, I'm like, how is this stuff even in my body right now? But it would just work me up so much. My anxiety would get the best of me. Like, I would feel like cool as a cat walking in, and then I'd sit down and I'd be like, I'd be breathing completely. What gets me is I'd be breathing completely normal, but my heart is like thumping out of my chest. And it takes a little while for that to go away, but rest assured, it does go away with practice. But yeah, that's what I struggled with. Probably about 2 years. Really just and even now, like every now and again, I'll get a little bit of anxiety. Not like it was, but now I use it for my character. I use it to, build up the adrenaline for whatever scene it is. You know what I mean? So now I use it. It's just about learning how to work with what the universe is giving you.
Well, actors, we always put so much pressure on ourselves. Like, you have to book every audition. Like, you feel like, what are your thoughts on that as far as auditioning?
I like to think every everything that I auditioned for is for me. You know, I've always argued with people that, you know, casting directors, let's say, or my agents, you know, past agents that said that I wasn't right for this character. I'm like, who are you to tell me I'm not right for it? Let me try. You know, that's my job. Like, I want to be able to mold. I can do that. There's so many different sides of me. You don't know every side of me. Like, I know what's in my database, in my brain, and I know what I can do. Let me try. What was the question again?
Well, when you're in an audition, like as far as wanting to book everything, or
yeah.
you know,
Yeah, I want to book everything. I mean, I literally I pray about it. I'm an avid prayer about it. You know, I just ask God to give me the strength and the knowledge to go into the audition, to do what I need to do, and to give me favor. You know, when the directors or, you know, the producers are going through 500 auditions, and I just pray that something I do stands out, because, you know, everybody wants to book everything that they do. So, and I never lose hope. Like, even when, you know, I have callback after callback and then I don't end up booking, the next audition I'm like, I'm gonna book it. Like, I've never been jaded from that thought, you know. Like, I always have hope, and I always think I'm gonna book it, and pray that I'm gonna book it, and hope that they see me in that role. The unfortunate thing is, everybody has their idea of what they want. So even if you had an outstanding audition, you hit all the points the way that you needed to, you know, you could look like an ex-girlfriend that they didn't like, and then they're like, I hate you. Right? No. You know what I mean? I've been too short, you know, for the guy that already got the role. You know, there's so many things that go into it. So you can't really take it personally, and that's something else I've learned over the years, is not to take it personally anymore, because it's out of your hands.
Well, you have booked a lot of roles, and some of them, in particular, that I wanted to talk about, because I saw American Horror House, and I thought that was a fascinating role. I loved, you know, I don't want to give too much away, but you know, your character meets some violence, and you had some special effects going on there. How was that? How was that to shoot?
I really love sci-fi and horror. I feel like that's where I'm like kind of creating my name. But a lot of actresses throughout history have started in sci-fi and horror, so I'm not gonna like
Jamie Lee Curtis,
for
instance. Right?
Even Jennifer Aniston, like you know, like, I mean, a lot of people have started these silly, crazy movies, but you know, I think they're a lot of fun. Especially with the special effects, like American Horror House had an awesome saw blade in my face, and it was like a real saw blade. Like, they went and like trimmed the edges so it wouldn't like slice me if the makeup like fell off some kind of way. But it was a real heavy saw blade. They were real tools in my face. Like, I'm like, what happened to props?
I think there's a screwdriver there too, right?
Yeah, screwdriver in my cheek. I'm like, what happened to props? The plastic stuff. No, it was real. And it looked awesome.
It did.
The makeup team that Active Entertainment has is just incredible. So, I don't know, it's just really fun walking around set and everybody being like, oh, you know, I'm like, yeah. And then I love the bloody eye drops. Those are probably my favorite, even though that's like nothing but sugar, so it's like very thick, so you're like blinking with the bloody eye drops. It's really a bizarre feeling, but I feel very fortunate to have had the experience to have the experience with effects. You know,
it looked fantastic, and I watched that film with my daughter, and she's 12.
God, and Charlie's so scared.
I was like, it's so fun. We're gonna watch it together. And then I had to spend the night with her. Like, she made me sleep in her bed, so she was terrified. So, which was, you know,
it's funny when
that's the hope that you're
actually a part of a film, and you know, we're sitting and watching, you know, the preview of it, you know, before it came out, and you know, we're all watching it, and it's just so funny, you know, to us, because I mean, we're part of it, you know, but I'm sure the little kids, scare the crap out of them.
It was creepy. Was it hard to do the scene with those special effects, like, you know, adhere to your face and everything, or?
Yes and no.
You just had to be super careful, or?
Yes, because everything was really heavy on my face, and you couldn't really move too much. because it would wobble or fall to the side. Then it just looks really strange when saw blade is over your eye. It's just be like slashed in your head. No, because what was I saying? It's difficult because of the weight, and it's also a little difficult because you're trying not to think of all this weight on your face, and trying not to move so much, but you're also trying to stay in character, and you're also trying to give the best performance you can. And I mean, I can remember that specific that scene. I'm laying down and I'm like, and it's like the director's like, don't move too much, and it's just like my arm like quivering. But those experiences is what makes the filming. It's just those memorable experiences.
That's a great scene. Well, you also had another great scene that I remember in Swamp Shark.
Yeah.
And you had to swim away like in this murky bayou or something. Tell me about that. What was that like to shoot?
Okay, so I am really motivated by fear. I think everybody is motivated by something, and fear is what I'm motivated by, because I don't like being scared of anything, and I am deathly afraid of murky waters. So when they told me that I had to get into this little boat in the Henderson Swamp, it took a lot of courage for me to be able to do that. I feel like I got over a fear doing that, even though I was getting eaten up by these little black water beetle bugs.
Ew.
They were like flying at me and going, I was like, oh my God, this sucks. But yeah, it was definitely a great experience. Just doing my own stunt. Well, okay, I say that because after the fact. But during, it's like everybody wants to do their own stunts as actors. They think that, this is just something that anybody can do. I say leave it to the professionals. Because this whole, Swamp Shark situation, this was my first stunt. Pretty much what they did is, put me into a harness, literal harness, around my waist. I'm in the water. There's a really big boat that all the main people are on, and then there's a tiny little boat to where the stunt coordinators and those guys are on. So I am sitting there floating in the water. Mind you, this is take after take after take. I'm getting tired of swimming in this murky
Was it
water.
cold, or was it
No. It was in the middle of
summertime?
summer.
Okay.
I was actually filming on my birthday, June 1st, for Swamp Shark a couple years ago. So I remember that it was very hot, actually. The water felt nice. Anyway, so this harness was on me, and they hadn't tried it on anybody else yet. And all I remember is stunt coordinator going, if you're under for 7 seconds, I'm coming in. And I was like, oh my God. So then they pulled they pulled the rope and the stuff that was attached to my harness, and it yanked me 10 feet under. And I've been plagued with these dreams of waking up in water and swimming to the top and never being able to get to the top and thinking I'm going to die because, I can't reach the surface. That's exactly how that situation was. I was pulled so far underneath because it was the first time they did it. I was swimming up. I'm like, where is the surface? And then when I finally broke the water, I was like, yay! But then we did it 10 more times, and it was a much smaller pull, but it was definitely frightening, but I got over that fear. I did it, and it's just something that I can check off as being done with.
And there was some nudity in that scene too, right?
Yeah.
How did you deal with that? Had you done that before?
I had never done that before. Yeah, how did I get comfortable with that? It's such a weird subject because it's I don't know, I'm just not used to being so open like that. But it did kind of help that Sci-Fi is a PG, station, and I knew they weren't going to show it. But still, showing boobs in front of
So it's just the crew on set that you
20 people. They say close set, but there's still a lot of people. It's hey guys. Hey guys, don't mind me. I'm just boobs out, no big deal. It's definitely an interesting situation to be in. I don't know if I love the situation just because it's like I'm a very secure person and I love myself. I really do. I'm very, very confident, but it's just, I wasn't born and raised in France, you know what I mean? Like, it's just not in our culture to be open, with sexuality, which it should be. I really do agree with the French way. I lived in France for 2 years, and it's like they'll show a boob any day over, guns and violence versus our culture. It's all guns and violence, and it's like a boob, But it's still something that I did that because I don't want to be afraid of anything. I don't want to be afraid of, how I feel or how, my insecurities to myself. I don't want to have any insecurities. But would I do it for, a random little role again? Probably not. It would probably have to be like, if HBO was like, Ashton, we want you to do this, and I'd be like, I'm naked. But other than that, it would have to just be a really good role. I'm not against it, but if the story permitted to showing skin, I just feel like a lot of films just show skin to show skin for no reason. It doesn't even make sense to show skin. It's tacky. I don't want to do anything that's tacky,
And that worked with the scene. It was appropriate.
Yeah.
It made sense. Well, you did another film that I really enjoyed called The Woodshed.
The Woodshed.
Yeah. So tell me about that film.
Oh man, that really took a lot out of me. I was the lead in The Woodshed. We were filming in the middle of the summer. Louisiana summers get hot. We were sweating, sweltering hot the entire time. She was a very used and abused girl, and it was a really dark place for me that I had to get to. But I'm happy that I could, give that to Grace, my character, and, just make her come alive. Just with my own, like I said, my own database of situational things that have happened, things that, I've had to go through friends with, or just things that have affected me through my life. I was able to apply to that role because it is very heavy content. The underlying message is really scary. It's about sex cults. Who talks about those things? I didn't even know they were real, honest to God, until I started doing some character study on it. And then I started looking into the Children of God sex cult. And if you can get through all 6 episodes on YouTube, I commend you, because it was really difficult. But it was about developing a character, and even though I was in a really dark place for most of that filming, I think that shows in the product, because it's just won so many awards, and it's got so much recognition, and that's a graduate thesis project out of UNO, whoop, whoop, University of New Orleans.
And y'all went to LA, right?
We went to LA for the International Television Festival in LA. And K.D. Amond won Best Director for it, out of all those films that were there. So it's just it's a testimony to, Louisiana talent, and really staying true to, our people, and supporting everybody.
Well, you're also doing some teaching now, right? You're going to be doing some classes. Do you want to tell us about that?
Well, I've taken classes from just about everybody. I've been studying for a long time, and I feel like I've taken some very valuable knowledge from each person, something from each that really affected me and my acting skills, and just, what I use on a daily basis when I'm preparing for an audition or when I'm on set. So I feel like I can really give back, and it would be a good way for me to continue teaching myself, because this is an ongoing, it's an ongoing battle. Like, you never know enough. Like, you're always learning. The second you think you know it all, you're done in this business, because there's somebody that's going to work harder than you, that's going to do more than you, put more effort in than you, and then surpass you. And if you don't have the work hard attitude, you're not made for this industry, because it ain't easy. It's very difficult. It's very not glamorous. Your self-esteem gets, plummeted all the time. You don't get a call back for this. You don't get any explanation. You're constantly wondering why I'm not good enough, until you have enough experience to realize what's really going on. It's nothing about you. And then you start to kind of tweak the things that you can do to make yourself stand out and to be the one that they pick. So I'm starting classes. It's going to be a beginner's intensive. Pretty much I'm doing a little package deal because a lot of teachers, no teacher around here does it, and I think it's really important. Like, they'll give you the information, but they don't give you the tools to get an agent, to get representation, to get to the next step. So what my classes are going to do is we're going to give you a commercial headshot, a theatrical headshot. Starting the second week, it's going to be a 6-week course. Starting the second week, we're going to start on a monologue, work on that for the next 5 weeks, tape that at the end for the showcase. And so you have a package to give to an agent. Here are my headshots. Here is my monologue. You know, everything's a growing experience, and you know, it's good to start with somebody. You can always, you know, grow and advance. It really just depends. There's so many agents here. You know, it really just depends on your connection with them. You know, some people work well with some people, and some people, you know, don't work well with others. So it really just depends on your relationship and the level that you want to get to.
Well, is there a website or someplace where they can find your information?
It's called the Broken Leg Acting Studio. You can email me at thebrokenleg.co. I think it's Ashton@thebrokenleg.co.
Okay.
Yeah, not com, co. And I have a splash page up right now, but there's going to be more coming soon.
All right. Well, great. Well, thank you so much for talking to us today.
I've had pleasure.
It's great to hear your anecdotes, and I think it'll be really helpful for everybody else in the business.
I hope so.
All right. Well, thanks a lot.